Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Maddie if you're new here. This is The Short Stop, a student-produced podcast sponsored by The Pitch at Walter Johnson High School. This week, we're going to be interviewing Raya Seid, a senior here at WJ. Without further ado, let's get into it.
Hi, I'm Raya, and I'm a senior at WJ.
All right, so what's one thing that you think people might not know about you based on the way that you present yourself to society?
I think I'm going to kind of talk about how I am with academics and in terms of learning. So I'm someone who's always worked really, really hard, and from a young age, my parents have always taught me the importance of learning the material rather than just taking a test and trying to get an A. So if I ever struggled in school and didn't do well on a test when I was younger, instead of being mad at me for getting a C or a D or whatever it might have been, and telling me to retake the test, they would say, well, did you know the test and you knew the material and you just weren't really having a good day or you couldn't focus? Or do you need a tutor? Do you need to go in for lunch? What can we do to help you understand the content? And from a very young age, I was instilled with really understanding material and how important that is. And as I got older, I started to realize more about how important it is to apply your knowledge. Because I think there's a lot of kids, and we're in a kind of a society where you take so much information so quickly and cram it into test after test that you tend to just forget the information. But I like to think long term. So I'm always like, well, how is this going to apply to me in real life? I'm the kid in class who stops the teacher and says, well, why do I need to know this? How am I going to be able to apply it? And so I definitely have struggled in school. I think at the end of the day, I've taken somewhat challenging courses. And at the end of the day, I wasn't taking all APs, but I think
you were taking hard.
I was taking hard classes. I wasn't doing
Don't sell yourself short.
I wasn't doing a completely easy load either. And it did. Mental health started coming in. I would have anxiety and mental breakdown if I wasn't doing well in every single quiz and test. And with that said, I realized I'm someone who has to work so hard to barely get a B when there are students who easily get an A. And with that said, in some classes like math, I have to kill myself to get a C. So school definitely has not come easy. With that said, there are some subjects that have come a lot easier. But I'm graduating in a little less than 2 weeks now, and I'm not a straight A student, and I didn't score perfect on my ACT, but I wouldn't say that's defined me as someone who's not going to be successful. I was really fortunate to get the opportunity to be interning at NIH for about a year now, and I've met so many amazing, compassionate people who have really helped me and given me confidence to go into the world with medicine, and as competitive as that can be. And I was really grateful to get the opportunity to do so much research that I'll actually be graduating high school as a co-author on a paper and having published a scientific poster. And I'm not saying this to come around as cocky, and I don't want this to come off the wrong way at all. I'm just saying this in the sense to show that I think, at least for me, that shows I am being successful in the real world. Even though I may not have gotten straight A's or scored perfect on the ACT, which may be perfect or successful in high school, I think in the real world, I'm still successful, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Do you think that it's been hard to cope with that because MCPS and Montgomery counties, all the schools in this school system put a lot of emphasis on getting A's, getting 5s on your APs, getting that 1600 or 36 or as close as you can get? Do you feel like that's made you question yourself?
I think at times I definitely have. I had a huge mental breakdown over the summer of, am I going to go into medicine? And it's something I'm so interested in, but am I smart enough for it? And thankfully I had my mentors to really talk me down and say, Ray, you're someone who, if you want to work hard, you do as much as you can as you're able to succeed. And I'm someone who really understands that everyone has strengths and weaknesses, and for me, math is just always my weakness. No matter how hard I try, no matter my tutors, chemistry, those two things I'm just never going to be good at, and school is just not my strong suit. For some reason, I have a really big issue being able to apply the information I learned. So I can tell you all about, whatever cycle you want to know in biology, but when it comes to taking the test, I never am able to really apply it. And I think it's just one weakness. And my one weakness is probably academics, but that's okay because I see it as I have so many other strengths. I'm very independent. I can grocery shop. I can do my own laundry. I can cook, and especially healthy. I have real world skills that I think, for me or at least, are very important. And I think we live in a society where academics and grades are definitely vital to succeed. I'm not at all saying, it's okay to completely fail out. I'm just saying that I think as long as you're trying really hard, your hard work is what's gonna get you far in life. And as long as you're able to have the grades to get you into a place with opportunities, that doesn't mean you have the opportunities. You need to be a person who has the instilled energy and motivation and want to really succeed. And I think I have all of that, and I may not always have the grades, but I definitely compensate with the motivation to succeed. I mean, to get my internship, I sent over 500 personalized emails to various doctors in the institute. And like, I mean, in the moment, it didn't seem like a big deal. I was like, I'm going to, you know, if I want something, I'm going to work really hard and get it without stepping over anyone or anything like that. But just within me, and I put in so many hours and so much time, you know, working on my resume and sending out emails took so long. And then after the fact, everyone's like, oh my God, Raya, that's insane. But like, to me, it just didn't seem crazy, I guess, just because I've always been someone who, if I want something, I will work as hard as I need to work to get it.
Did your parents, like, were they kind of like who have instilled the values in you?
Yeah.
Or are there other people in your life that have kind of, maybe not directly, but indirectly kind of pushed you to be that way? Because that's not just something you're born with.
Yeah.
Like, everybody, in my personal opinion, is born with, like, the same general, you know, will to succeed. And then, like, however you're nurtured in school, like, a lot of people are tracked differently. Right. So that often, like, gives you motivation if you're tracked on a higher level, and the kids who are tracked on lower levels are essentially set up to fail.
Right. No, I completely understand. I mean, my parents, like I said earlier, were never pressured about grades. Like, they've never once been the type of parents to look at my grades online and be like, hey, I saw you got a B. What's that about? Like, sure, they'd be like, oh, do you want help with your homework or this or that? And, you know, when we were younger, we had parent-teacher conferences, but the pressure 100% came from not my parents, and if anything, it came from me. And I think something I learned through junior year especially is it took a big toll on my mental health. And, you know, senior year, I will admit my grades are not the best, but my mental health has been so much better. I've had way less anxiety attacks and mental breakdowns, and I think it's just, not to say that I should let my academics drop, but I think in college a huge part for me will be finding the balance of my internal pressure, because obviously I have, you know, some pressure from parents to want to succeed, but it's not at all the kind of thing of like that, or teachers, or it's just more from within, and it's just finding the balance between what's healthy, I think.
So do you think that when you go to college, you're going to University of Maryland, do you think that the lessons that you've learned and that you've taught yourself in high school about, like, putting your mentality and your mental state and your physical health over your academics most of the time, do you think you're going to carry that in with you? And, like, if your grades start to slip, do you think that there's going to be some sort of, like, switch and you're going to change?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's definitely going to be a learning curve. I'm definitely obviously going to prioritize your mental health over everything, because at the end of the day, even if you get the most successful life, the most successful job, money, and you're not happy, what's the point of living? You know, so I definitely will prioritize my mental health. But, I mean, there's times, like, when it comes to finals where you're going to be really stressed. And I think that's okay to have a lot of stress on yourself for a week or two at a time, just not for all 4 years. And I think it's going to be finding a balance, honestly. It's going to take time.
All right. Thank you. All right, thanks for listening. This is actually going to be my last episode of the year because I am graduating in a couple weeks. So I'm not sure yet if someone will be taking over the shortstop next year. I'm working with Miss Brelly right now to find someone. But if you're interested in hosting a podcast or being a part of the pitch, just let me or Miss Brelly know. Thanks so much for listening. And if you want to go back and listen to any of the other episodes we've recorded in the past semester, they're up on the pitch website, so feel free to do so. Thanks again.